Hello, good afternoon. I think it's noon. I don't know. I really don't know what time it is. I've been so busy this morning. I woke up feeling pretty good, so I have done lots of things. Lots of things have been done today. And one of those things is I made my dad a cake, and I made him chocolate frosting, and I'm going to try to put it on the cake in a pretty way. A decorative way, I suppose, is the right word. But yeah, it's just going to be all one color. But I might ice it and then do a little piping around the edges, but it's going to stay in the pan. I'm just going to take the whole pan over there of cake, yeah, because I don't have a portable cake plate. My cake plate is like glass with a glass lid, and I ain't dealing with all that. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it in the pan and tell him he can return the pan after he eats the cake. Sounds good to me, right? What else did I do? I've done all kinds of things. I've ran the vacuum cleaner. That stupid thing hardly left the living room and the kitchen. It just kept going back and forth, and there's still stuff on the floor, so it doesn't matter. It just goes all over the place. But some of y'all mentioned in the comments that there are remote lawnmowers. And Jake from Shirtless Jake's Homestead has one. And I haven't seen him use it, but I saw his dad using it this morning. And while the grass was too tall for that one, it is cool, and it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. I don't know what I expected it to be, but yeah, it's pretty big. Like a child could sit on it big. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm sorry. When my hair's down, it prompts me to play with it. Okay, because whatever, it doesn't matter. What did I wake up thinking about this morning? Well, it's the funniest thing.
Are you trying to make up your mind? She stopped midway. She's trying to decide. Her bed's up here because the vacuum was going. Just lay in your bed. Yeah, just lay in your bed. It's fine. You can lay on your bed on the couch.
Anyway, so I woke up this morning and had this thought. And I thought, you know what? I've never told these people I call my friends. Yeah, so we're going to tell them, ain't we? Quit staring at me. So, my last 4 years at the sheriff's office, I was in training at the jail. And one of the ladies who hated coming to training, and I had to pretty much threaten her with everything I had to make her come. Well, she finally showed up, and she's sitting over there doing this test. Now, the test is required by the state and the FBI. The Crime Information Center of the FBI requires that the state makes us do it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, FBI rules. We have to do it. If you're going to work in law enforcement and have access to criminal history information, then you got to take the test. You got to do the test. Every 2 years, you got to do the test. It's easy. They never change the questions. You read a paragraph, you go to the next page, you answer a question. I mean, it's like, it's not hard, okay? It only takes a couple hours. That was then. I don't even think it takes that long now because they've reduced it, I think, again. But anyway, she finally comes in, and she's sitting there waiting on me to get everything set up. And she says, so, when are you going to retire? And I said, it's going to be this September. And she was like, oh, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I thought about becoming a professional photographer, but cell phones are kind of taking the place of that, and it wasn't as much fun as I thought it was going to be, because when you stand outside in the heat trying to deal with people and get them to stand a certain way and look a certain way, and everybody keep their eyes open and smile and do all the things, it's very, yeah, I lost interest in that. I said, so I really don't know, take care of my mom. But, yeah, I don't know. And she was like, well, what you should do is move to China and teach children how to speak English. Excuse me? I mean, first of all, I could be wrong, but don't you have to speak Mandarin or whatever language in the area you're in to be able to then teach them English? I don't want to spend all that time learning a new language and moving to China away from everything I know. No, why don't you? And she was like, oh, I don't want to do that. That was weird. Wasn't that weird? Move to China. I mean, I don't even want to visit. No offense to anybody in China, but that's just never been on my bucket list of places I want to go. If I'm going to go somewhere, it's going to be to Europe. And, I mean, Australia, if I thought I could handle the flight, even though they've got big critters there. But, I mean, you know, I could see me going to Africa on a safari. But China's never been on the list. Now, Japan, maybe. Yeah, I could see me going to Japan, but no, it's not up there. Anyway, I don't know why that popped back in my head this morning, but I was like, I am not moving to China. I mean, God bless the little children, but I think you need to have that desire to go to China to teach them. You can't just be like, oh, okay, let me move to China. Ugh. And then my other thought is I just saw this video of this man who didn't have any arms, and he was putting on, like, it looked like shoulder pads, like football type shoulder pads is what it looked like, but it had arms. And he was showing how he uses his feet to lift it up over his head and all this stuff. Well, that reminded me of an inmate, and I think I've talked about him before, but I'm going to talk about him again, okay? May he rest in peace, because he's moved on to glory or wherever he went. But when he first started coming to jail, he had all his limbs, all of them, all 2 legs and all 2 arms, and then he comes to jail and he's missing part of 1 leg, and then he's missing the leg, the whole leg, and then he starts losing, his toes. He was a bad diabetic, like a juvenile diabetic, and he didn't take care of himself, okay? That's how he kept losing all the limbs. And then he was always in trouble. Yeah, always. When I tell you he was always in trouble, he was always in trouble. And when he came to jail, he would fight. So, yeah, it was just an issue, okay? Well, he finally lost both arms and both legs. And you would think, I just had a funny thought go through my head. Whoo, kickstand. You would think, after losing all the limbs, that he would finally be like, oh, I need to straighten up. No, he was still getting in trouble, coming to jail, and fighting with deputies. And you're like, well, how was he fighting with deputies if he didn't have any arms or legs? Well, let me tell you, he had a body, okay? He had a whole entire body, and he would take his body and he would whack his head up against any deputy that came in there that he felt like fighting. Yeah, he was cuckoo. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Sadly, we don't have mental health facilities. We have jails. And they break the law, so they come to jail, and then we send them to a mental health facility who treats them and sends them right back. So we don't have long-term mental health facilities, is what I'm saying. And that's bad. But yeah, he was a trip. I mean, what do you call a man with 1 leg? Trip. What do you call a woman with 1 leg? Eileen. I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of anybody who has lost limbs, okay? I have a friend who has lost from her knee down, and guess who makes fun of her? She does. She makes fun of herself. Her name's Peggy. So, you know how she dresses for Halloween? She dresses up as a pirate and calls herself Peg, because she has a peg leg. See there? Most people, you know, have personalities and a sense of humor and can understand it. I mean, I would probably be one of those that just went with it, you know, because you might as well. Being mad or sad's not going to bring it back, so you might as well just go with it. So Peggy goes with it. One time she told, which story do I want to tell? One time she sadly, she had broken the leg that was amputated, and she was in a wheelchair because, as you can imagine, she can't walk on that leg. It was, of course, above the knee where she broke it, duh. Anyway, she was in a wheelchair, and I went walking past her in the hallway, and I told her that she needed to move her very slow-moving butt out of my way, right? Because that's who I am, and Peggy and I had that relationship that we, you know, I could pick on her like that. And she said, "I challenge you." I was like, "Challenge me to a duel?" And she said, "No, to a wheelchair race." I said, "Do we have another wheelchair?" She said, "Yes." And she told me where to go get it, and I went and got it. And we had this really long hallway, and I got the wheelchair, and I sat down in it, and she sat in the other wheelchair, and we took off down the hall. She won, because she was way more in wheelchair shape than I was. You know, you get used to that, and I was not used to that. But, yeah, we always had fun. But, yeah, that's the story of the man with no arms and no legs, and the lady who thought I should move to China. I'm not moving to China. I'm probably not moving anywhere anytime soon. So, yeah. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And I hope you're all having a great day. Remember, I love you. Jesus loves you. We hope he's coming back soon, because people be crazy. And I'll talk to you on the next one, okay? Toodles!